Ladies and gentlemen, so today is the global release of Marvel Strike Force, and today we've also had a pretty big update to the game. It's changed a lot of stuff around in terms of, where various characters are, and yeah, tons of little bits and bobs and tweaks with kind of the patch that dropped today as well. So what I wanted to do today was sit down and get out as much quality, up-to-date information as I can, just kind of rattle stuff off, go through every single aspect of the game to give kind of beginner players and intermediate players, people who are picking up the game today, a really good handle on which characters are good, what stuff you should focus on, turn your attention to kind of get the maximum benefit, the best rewards, how you can progress quickly, just all the information to, make this game as fun and enjoyable for you as possible. So yeah, we're going to be going through a lot of different stuff today. But first off, I think we should just, tell you guys a little bit about some of the, top characters in the game at the moment. So the top two characters, but in a lot of people's books, are Quake and Yondu, and the best bit about these two characters is they are super available. Like, they're really easy to get, very low barrier characters. There are quite a few ways you can gain Quake and quite a few ways you can gain Yondu, but just to glance over some of the other characters, Gamora, she's amazing, she's a pretty farmable character as well. Drax used to be quite good, he's not quite as good anymore, you don't really want to turn your attention too much to him. Captain America, great character to get. Black Widow is really good. I believe they've kind of shifted her shards back, so she's a little bit more out of the reach of newer players. Iron Man is super awesome, he's quite a rare character though that comes around with a certain event that's been in the game already twice, but yeah, we'll talk about that in the near future. Hawkeye is really good, great utility and control character. He's fantastic for that. Spider-Man, you got some really nice damage, really good stun. I believe he's one of the starting characters. But yeah, if you upgrade him, he really pulls some weight. He used to be quite bad toward the start of the game and didn't really do much, but they did an update. It was like a month and a half ago where he just became insane again. Very valuable character. Also got Thor. He's not too bad. Quite an easy character to get, though, via the raid system. Winter Soldier, I believe, is a little bit back. Rocket Raccoon and Crossbones are both quite available characters. They are both awesome characters. Rocket is just a glass cannon, ton of damage, a ton of fun to play. Crossbones is kind of like a damagey tank character. He has this amazing sacrifice explosion ability, but yeah, he's really cool. Luke Cage is a really good support tank character and can be very useful when paired with certain ones. Daredevil's great for the damage, man. He's an awesome character, same as Korath. Nebula, she's a little bit of an evade counter utility champion. Got a little bit of damage going on, but she's very annoying to fight because she's evading quite a bit, and also has a chance to revive. She's just a bit of a weird one, but there's so much depth to these characters that we need to talk about in a lot of videos coming up on the channel. Kingpin, I believe there's like a new player offer for Kingpin that's like $30 to initially unlock him. Kingpin is great. He's arguably one of the best characters in the game at the moment. Incredible support, tank, hybrid champion, can summon like bodyguards and offense up and defense up your team. So yeah, Kingpin's legit, man, if you see him about. Hulk's really good. You get Hulk about anywhere between about 2 to 4 weeks into playing the game, just via the achievement system, which we'll go over in a bit and have a bit of a look at that. But yeah, Hulk is just unlocked fire achievements, and he's quite good. He's a bit of a beefy tank. He's not necessarily the best. I like Captain America as the best tank, or Kingpin. But Hulk, he has some uses there. Black Panther is awesome. He's a little bit out of bounds at the moment. Who is kind of relevant for new people? Punisher's quite good. He doesn't really have too much utility, but he's got some alright damage going on there, and he's definitely a good champion. I believe you get fairly early on in the game as well now. And also Elektra, via the event, she's a great one to pick up. Got some very nice single target damage, has the ability to also remove buffs on the opponent. So yeah, Elektra is quite a valuable character. But there's so much to talk about in terms of characters, but really, we're going to go over the various modes of gameplay and talk about, which shards to focus on and pick up. And the first thing really is the arena system, and this works the same if you're familiar with the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes one, where it runs every 24 hours. You've got 5 entries. I believe there's a 50-minute period where where you need to wait before you kind of chuck another token in. You can see the tokens just at the top right, but you have 5 tokens every 24 hours, and you climb the ranks, and depending on where you land, you get basically a stack of shards and also a stack of cores. And yeah, it's a little bit weird. I don't know why there's just a single gold up there, but yeah, it's basically just shards and power cores that are coming into your inbox every 24 hours. And power cores are the premium currency like units in Marvel Contest of Champions, if you're familiar with that. Now, in terms of kind of the characters to get for this, it's definitely Quake. It's definitely Quake. You got the choice between Drax, Quake, and Daredevil, and yeah, Quake is she's just an absolute game changer of a champion, and we'll do a little bit of Quake gameplay, maybe in the video today. We might show a little bit of a raid toward the end of it. So yeah, that's pretty much for Arena. Do Arena like 5 times a day, and invest on Quake if you're early on. Then we also have this alternative mode called Blitz, which is kind of like a bit of a Marvel Contest of Champions arena style system where you just grind it out. You queue up a team of 5 people and the multiplier just goes up and up and up, and the rewards for the milestones are really, really good. As you are basically progressing, you're getting these Blitz credits and also Blitz orb fragments, so those are 2 ways to gain character shards via there, so it's important to push as much as you can in this. And once you start getting to some of the later milestones, then you're getting fragments for whatever the kind of featured character in that Blitz mode has been. Now, in Blitz mode, we have seen like multiple Blitz mode kind of battlegrounds going on at the same time. And I'm sure when it comes to stuff like rankings, like these pools, I believe, are going to be expanded quite quickly because they are very, very small at the moment for what I assume what the player base was in beta. So yeah, they need to definitely increase the size of these pools, and I imagine those to increase soon. But definitely it's worth doing the milestones for the credits. And in terms of what you should spend your credits on, it's a little bit up for debate. I believe personally that Gamora is the best of all of these options. I love Gamora personally. She's such a fun and interesting champion, very high single target, but also amazing for clearing up kind of smaller minions, because Gamora, on her second and third abilities, if she gains a kill with them, then she can attack again and just keep on tearing down the enemy team. But some people really like Crossbones, and yeah, I'd say it's a little bit of personal preference, but I would suggest Gamora for this one. And in terms of the orbs work in a way that you're just going to get 5, like I'll open one right now just for you to see. In terms of the arena orbs, you just get one of the 5 random characters. So yeah, we got Hydra Scientist there, and really that's another tip to throw out, is that there are a lot of minion and pawn characters in this game, and for the most part, really, they can be useful at some times, but they're not really anywhere near as powerful as a lot of the hero characters. And the hero characters generally have a lot of the kind of utility and core mechanics that are going to get you through the really, really difficult content. So there's not too much value there. There are a couple of exceptions to that at the moment, but generally speaking, the minions, like a lot of them really aren't worth upgrading. So just follow the rule of thumb that generally, like, most of the heroes are amazing. They're going to get you through a lot of content. I think every single kind of like main hero, main Marvel character, apart from Scientist Supreme, is in a really good spot right now where they have something very interesting that they can do. They have a very interesting synergy, and yeah, there's a good use for that character. But yeah, in terms of kind of campaigns and some of the earlier ones to farmers we were talking about earlier, Yondu is currently one of the top characters. Heroes 1-9, make sure you farm the absolute crayons out of that map, because Yondu is a great character to get. He is just so insane. He can summon additional Ravengers. He has an AoE. He can dispel buffs. He can steal buffs off the opponent. So yeah, Yondu is just absolutely ridiculous at the moment. Really good to farm. And also moving into the second chapter, Bullseye is alright. He's got some single target damage, but he's probably not one to prioritize your energy on. Like Elektra, again, like she can be pretty good for single target damage, but isn't too much of a game changer. And then as we move up, this is some of the more difficult stuff here, but Captain America and Hawkeye, they are really great characters to farm. Like Captain America is just so valuable, amazing tank, and grants a lot of ability energy to various allies and ability energy energy is a resource which allows characters to use their special attacks and ultimates significantly faster. So yeah, Captain America, he is just insane, really good at the moment. And then if we have a look at the villains campaign and some of the stuff that is available early on, Hawkeye, really good to farm as soon as you can unlock villains 1-9. I would say, you know, if it's probably some of your first days farming, I'd focus on unlocking Yondu and Hawkeye and just rinsing those characters as well. Jessica Jones, she's alright. She's a pretty interesting support character. I don't believe there's anything specifically at the moment. As Jessica Jones, she can grant a little bit of ability energy, she can dispel debuffs, and she can also remove negative effects from the team that she's on. So if there's ever any mode of gameplay where there's a ton of stuns and a ton of like debuffs and stuff that you need, you know, that's really annoying, Jessica Jones is going to be amazing for that. But yeah, she's not too valuable in the current state early on, but I don't know, some people really enjoy her, and she certainly isn't the worst one to farm. So yeah, moving through villains, got a little bit of Crossbones there as well, but really Korath as well, villains 5-9, he's a great character to unlock, a lot of single target damage, he's a force taunt mechanic, he's got heal block, he's got slow down on his special one, so yeah, some very valuable stuff for Korath there. And then we have villains 6-9, where Kingpin, this one's a little way out, man, a little way out, but Kingpin is, again, absolutely phenomenal to farm as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for a lot of the low-hanging fruit champions when it comes to the campaign section of the game. Now, I guess one thing to talk about is orbs, and you know what to potentially spend money on if you want to buy some stuff in Marvel Strike Force. Now, premium orbs and tremor orbs are kind of like your, if you're familiar with Marvel Contest Champions, your premium crystals, your kind of featured ones. Now, these aren't great value to buy at all. Like, you know, a lot of mobile games are set up so that these kind of standard infinite purchases don't really offer like really good value for kind of the average spender. And there are a lot of ways in game, you know, via the arena system, via some milestones and other special events that you can farm premium orbs and get the shards for those. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about buying premium orbs at all, because most of the time it's just 15 character shards for a very lame minion. But occasionally you do get lucky, and it goes up to like a stack of 50 of any character shards, so it can be quite good. The only character I believe missing from the premium orbs is Ultimus, who is the super rare endgame character. But yeah, we'll talk about him in some upcoming video guides and that. And aside from that, we have the supply section. It's not worth really buying anything with units in here, but it can be a good idea when it comes to some of the stuff down the bottom, some of the blue gear, some of the purple gear. If you have an excess of gold, which you probably won't have for a while, to pick up some of these items. But if you've got a lot of gold, it gets to a certain point. I believe it was about 3.5 months myself where I had like all the champions leveled up I wanted to, and gold was just overflowing a bit. But you probably want to focus your gold if you're having problems with it, which ranking up a lot of characters initially, I'm going to assume you are. You probably just want to initially focus your gold on that. But it's good to buy supplies to get more Hulk shards for the achievements, but focus on leveling your characters first. And yeah, the achievements, you know, it's all stuff like collect a certain amount of this character, make supply purchases, reach this level, rank up characters, log in is a big thing, especially for a lot of Hulk shards. There's also a new one that's appeared today, connect to Facebook, where you can gain 200 power cores, so there's some interesting stuff there. But also, what is the best stuff to spend your power cores on? And that's kind of an additional question that we're going to segue into now. Now, one of the big things that you want to do is always make sure you are spending your energy when it comes to Marvel Strike Force. So once you finish off stuff, you can auto win. So you also get via the daily objectives, as you're going to see, well, just there we purchased some additional energy with like these credits that we got via the daily objectives, and they're just kind of a little bonus, which essentially is the equivalent of like a free energy refill. But now we are going to go ahead and auto win and farm some of these missions, and it's a little bit weird because the game has just transitioned over and changed a little bit. So yeah, we're going to auto win the Crossbones one there, get the shards, and I'll just show you guys the quick interface, what happens. So once you run out of energy and you try to overspend, it's going to ask you to purchase campaign energy, and this is really good to spend like 150 cores on every single day, because you can get free fairly cheap energy refills. So yeah, the first one is 50, the second one is 50, the third one is 50, and then it goes to 100 for, I believe it's 2 or 3, and then it will ramp up to 200. So yeah, if you are a free-to-play player, you probably only want to stick to like 50 cores every day. If you want to make a bit of a lunge, maybe you can push for the 100 ones as well. But unless you are spending any money, you don't want to buy the 200 core refills, because they're a little bit too expensive. So yeah, unless you're planning on spending big money to try and race forward as quickly as possible, then yeah, just stick to the 50 core ones would be my advice for the majority of people. So yeah, also along with that, as we were talking about earlier, all the various additional rewards and stuff you get via the daily objectives. Now, I've completed half of them, but it's really simple stuff like train up a character, chuck in 1 level to a very low level minion, equip 1 piece of gear, complete 2 battles in Blitz, there's complete 2 battles in Arena, do some campaign missions. It's all very, very easy and quick stuff to do for the most part. But it's very, very important to do it every single day, because that's going to give you 5 shards for Wolverine. Wolverine is the brand new character, just been added today. We've done a video on Wolverine earlier, but it looks like Wolverine is going to be quite easily one of the top 5 champions in the game. He has some insane damage, the ability to like attack multiple targets, and also regenerate at the start of every turn. So Wolverine seems insanely valuable, so it's important to make sure you hammer down and focus and get those daily objectives done and smashed out absolutely every single day. So aside from that, we've covered, you know, the majority of the game. We only have 2 things left, well, 3 things left. We'll go challenges. So challenges, there are going to be 2 of these active every single day. You want to push, because you'll see when you open them, you're going to start tier 1. You want to push to the highest tier that you possibly can get with your roster and get free medals in that, because once you do it, then it's just a case of like auto winning every single day and just picking up these rewards. Like it becomes just like super easy to get just these rewards for logging in every single day. So it's stuff like orb fragments, you know, premium orbs that we were talking about earlier, catalyst, you get arena reach or blitz recharges in the that event. You've got a gold rush event, training day, I believe. Actually, what is it? Yeah, the gold rush thing is bugged, that's meant to be gold there, but essentially you get all sorts of materials via doing these challenges. But the advice is push as high as you can, and don't be afraid to fail in this one. Do not be afraid to fail at all, because you have a unlimited amount of tries to potentially progress in this mode of gameplay. Whereas if you fail with energy, and that's another thing to keep in mind, if you fail with energy, you lose out on that energy. So, you know, don't try and push too far in campaign if you're not kind of fully confident in taking on the next mission. And if you want to get a bit of a sense of what you're up against, you do have the ability to scroll down here and see what kind of opponents you're up against, so you can roughly figure out and estimate whether or not your team is going to be able to take out the opponent or the enemy team there. Now, also, every 3 days so far, they've had these solo milestones going on, and these are super good to keep in mind. They're kind of like the solo event system in Marvel Contest of Champions, where it's like earn points by spending gold, and this one itself is like pretty easy to smash out, but I don't know if these are going to change a little bit moving forward. But they have them for like spending gold and training up various characters. As a brand new player, maybe you just want to focus on getting the maximum amount of progression possible, but it's something to keep in mind that these events do occur, and they can be a very nice bonus of like premium fragments and also power cores as well. So there's some pretty cool stuff going on there. And yeah, that brings us, I guess, to the final part, which is Alliance raids. Now, these come in currently 5 different forms, I believe. So you got the level 25, level 30, level 35, level 40, and level 50 raid. Now, as soon as you hit level 25, man, you will want to get into an Alliance raid as soon as possible. The rewards, you get a ton of ability materials to essentially upgrade the moves on your characters. So valuable. So you want to find an Alliance as you're progressing through the game that is continually pushing for higher and higher raids. Like, you want to be aiming for the 40 raids as soon as you possibly can, because that's when you start gaining the T3 materials, and the T3 materials will make your character's moves very, very badass. So the level 40 raids are where it's at if you want to get the really good materials. But again, you got to start somewhere. But the biggest thing to be aware of is as soon as you hit level 25, try your best in global chat or on the forums to find an alliance that is pushing for these raids on a daily basis and that has 24 other active players, and that's a very important thing to keep in mind as well. And in terms of what you should buy, because you also gain raid currency, raid orbs are definitely the way to go. Definitely the way to go until you have, because in raid orbs you gain a lot of Quake and a lot of Thor as well. And those are really the two main characters of value. And Thor, like, he's quite a powerful character. He's a little bit slow, but combined with a shield team, he can be absolutely phenomenal. And when it comes to Quake, yeah, she's just like arguably one of the best characters in the game. Just so much cleave damage. She's got a really, really powerful slow ton of utility. So yeah, I would say until you have like Quake and Thor at maybe like a 4-star, I would buy nothing but the raid orbs there. But once you get a little bit more down the line, then you could maybe look at buying individual supplies, and individual supplies seem a lot better than the blue gear orbs and purple gear orbs, because you can gain a lot of fragments for the blue gear and purple orbs just via raiding at the moment. So yeah, you don't need to worry about that. Just focus on specific supplies after that for the characters that you need. But yeah, for the most part, the general beginner advice is you want to just buy those raid orbs, man, and try and get Quake in the 4 to 5 stars as quickly as possible. But that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. We've covered challenges, arena milestones, campaigns, blitz mode, alliance raids. Alliance war, unfortunately, is not active yet. We've got daily objectives, achievements we've been through, and also if you had the pre-registration, you're going to log into a ton of power cores, also the ability to instantly unlock Daredevil. So yeah, that's some really cool stuff there as well. One final thing that I just remembered I missed off is that the next free orb, you can claim a free orb every 4 hours, which is going to guarantee like 1 character shard that has a chance to contain 5. And yeah, it's just making sure that if you log in once every 4 hours, you can get an orb, but it actually backlogs, so really only needs to be once in every 8 hours if you want to kind of get that nice little additional bonus there. But aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the first day beginner's guide for Marvel Strike Force. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and it was quite useful. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the first day of this game. I want to make so many video guides. Let me know in the comments below what kind of content you want to see, what kind of questions you have, and if you have any ideas for videos, tweet them at me. I'm at Seatinmol on Twitter, and I want to cover this game. I want to give you guys the best information, the best advice, the best gameplay possible. So yeah, just let me know, ladies and gentlemen. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.